You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Hey, you're listening to Adulting with Horses, the best place to be if you can't be at the barn. We are your co-hosts and equine authors, Heather Wallace and Natalie Keller-Reinert. As crazy horse girls, we don't take ourselves too seriously in the saddle or out. We celebrate the things that make us different. Join us as we talk about horses and pop culture and get a little weird in a fun way. Thank you for being a little weird with us.
I honestly think I should just hit record before you come on, because the best stuff is always the first thing out of your mouth.
I was late because I had to put my bra on, so I wanted you to see that I'm wearing my bra. You see?
Well, you showed me. She put them up and together, and
They're here.
Woo, baby. Thank God this is a girls' podcast.
I know. And not very videoed, like not available in a lot of video places.
It's instead of Patreon, we're gonna need OnlyFans.
I'm watching Margot's Got Money Troubles on Apple TV, which is about a single mom who starts an OnlyFans, like the most hilarious OnlyFans ever.
Awesome.
And when she's like on, I've never been on the website because
I haven't either.
It just hasn't come up. And she's scrolling through like the homepage, looking at different people's, sort of like their banners and what they offer. And I'm like, I really want to see that. It looks fun. There's a lot of, it was like Amy rides an ATV,
I'm going to say there's a niche for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is an absolute niche for everybody. But so here's the thing. I was actually, not in a weird way, but I was talking with Glenn about it, or somebody about it, like a dude. And, he's like the most pure soul. Like, he's definitely not on it. But he's just like, don't they still have to advertise? Like, you still need followers. It's not like you're going to make millions of dollars just because you have an account. Like, you need to I don't know, maybe like have subscribers.
Well, it like implied that there was a feed so that you could look at what was on offer.
I think it's like a TikTok, like it's a For You page, and then but you only get paid by subscribers, I think.
Yes.
That's my impression. I've never been on it, but it seems like it's just like another social media site I'd have to be on. So why would I add work?
Well, I think it's kind of like the same as Patreon, except with a feed.
Okay.
Except, although I think Patreon has added a feed, I don't know. They keep sending me emails. At one point, I replied to them. I was like, if redoing my Patreon was important to me right now, I would have replied to one of these emails. And then they replied back apologizing. But
wow.
I know. Like, I didn't mean to be snarky, but they just kept sending it. It was like, what do you want to get out of Patreon this year? And I'm like, I want it to leave me alone.
Right.
So I can, like, focus. And,
you pissed off Patreon.
So I got an apology note for Patreon, but I guess they redid, like, I think they have an actual social feed now, and it shows, like, who you follow. So if people use it, and they've, I have, like, 500 followers on Patreon, but if they see what I follow, they're going to be like, oh, she's as weird as she said.
No, yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about, actually, I'm glad as usual, we don't have a theme. Can we talk about authenticity really quick? Because
okay,
we are who we say we are, right? Like we are very clearly ourselves and not playing a part, which I think is why people are, I don't want to say drawn to us, but like why people like us.
They're drawn to us.
Well, so I went on this trip, right? So we went to back-to-back trips. I went to Lexington for the American Horse Publications, now Equine Media Association conference. And then 3 days later, I was in Alaska with the Horse Radio Network and a whole bunch of listeners.
Yes, which is amazing.
It was phenomenal. And I don't want to make this about me, but what my first 2 days was a little bit interesting because, I'm exhausted coming in with no voice. And at the pre-party, Glenn, after now 12 hours of travel, Glenn's like, oh, Heather's here. And everyone cheers. Like, everyone fucking cheers. And I was like, what? I was so caught off guard. And then I was like, oh, right. They know me. because a lot of them are listeners, and I knew some of them, so don't get me wrong, but I was not prepared for the level of like being seen after being that tired. And then like the second day I was just like, oh, I got to be on this whole trip, right? Like I got to be like social Heather, all the things. Well, day 3, I was like, fuck that. And I was just myself, and I had way more fun, and I actually got to know everybody in a better way. And so it's funny how, like, even me, I was like, first I was like, oh, I've got to be the best Heather I could be. No.
Right. No, that's not what people want.
Last.
Nobody wants you to be good Heather, all right? We're all looking for real Heather.
So there was a part, actually, and because I was tired, so I'm a yapper, as you know. Everyone's like, and I'm talking to everybody because I want to get the chance to know as many people as possible. And during the day, we did excursions. Sometimes I went off on my own and I just did things by myself, which is very classic coded. And then I would take a nap. So I would have energy to socialize at night, right? There was one night we were playing a game, like a group game, which was, by the way, so flippin' fun. And there was like 6 of us as a team. And we kept trying to lose and like submit the question like last so we could get extra points because we didn't know the answer. And every time I tried to go up there to take the penalty, which was, by the way, dancing to a song we didn't know, because they kept trying to get me to do it, some girl out of the crowd snaked me hard. Okay? Like, I never got the chance to take the penalty, but lo and behold, one of the horse husbands, 6'4", works in like as a first responder. He takes the penalty. He gets it, practically walking backwards, and he did the magic Mike dance, and we got it on video. It was amazing. Glenn has dubbed him the new America's horse husband.
Wow.
I know. So what I garnered from this trip was like, I can actually take a back seat at these events and let the listeners take the front row.
You give them space
so
to
much
shine.
More fun.
Yes. Yeah. You're like, all right, we have created this stage for you. We're the cruise directors.
That's right. Fun director.
Exactly. It's like my idea of a good time on a cruise is I sit on this sofa and you come talk to me. And then you leave. That's great. I don't have to do anything. Let's do it like that.
Well, I was parked out in the solarium during the day from 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. I was parked there. People brought me food. It was like friends. Yeah. Like it wasn't like, but like I didn't have to leave.
Waiters, they're paid to do that.
Right. I didn't have to. They were friends by the end. I tipped them a lot. I got up to pee and that was pretty much it. Like I had my headphones on. I was checked in, and then I was like 2 to 4 would be nap, and then I get ready for the early ass dinner, and then I was still doing enough stuff that I was mostly in bed by 10. Like it was phenomenal. Such a great trip. No, but I really like it. And so like bringing it back to authenticity, I for a second was like, oh, I have to be book event Heather. But then I was like, wait, these people actually know me a little through the podcast. I'm just going to be my weird ass self and it's whatever.
Yeah. Being book event person is so hard, right? Because you have to present yourself as a new person to like 90% of the people that walk up.
Right.
And it's just wearing. It's like, hi, this is me. And you just reach the point where you're like, these are the books. You can read the back of the book.
Day 3 for sure.
If you have a question, I will be over here humming to myself nervously.
Drinking coffee with something in it.
Yes. And when you have an event where people have come to see you specifically, or that they're joining you on something, it's completely different where it's like, oh, we can just be friends. We've dispensed with the formalities.
Yes.
You know me.
Yes.
It's fine. And if you think you know me more than maybe you actually do, that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
Well, and that's it. So like at first I had to pull a mutual friend to the side because I was like, you're making it weird. Like, and she didn't mean to, and I'm not calling that person out, but like, because I told her about it. I was just like, why are you being like this? Now you're making it like I'm some weird celebrity. I'm really not. Like, please don't do that. Like, because I don't want people to think I'm all high and mighty, which I am fucking not. So,
I know.
So
people have done that to me too a bunch, and I'm like,
oh yeah. Well, you got Kentuckied, right? Like you were saying last year at Kentucky 3-Day, you were like, really felt like you were kind of like upgraded to celebrity status, and it made you so, it was weird.
I didn't feel that as much this year. I felt like less of a celebrity this year, which is probably fine.
It's probably good. We don't want to get big for our britches,
I don't. I'm not here for like. Well, I mean, I like the attention. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, who doesn't like attention? But I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be weird. Like, I like the mutual connection. Like, I like making connections, as you know. I will say, I don't want to dominate this whole conversation, but I had a Pretty Woman moment. Okay. And it's the good Pretty Woman, when Richard Gere brings her in and he's like flashing all the money. No. So like, okay. So I'm gonna just asterisk this and say, I realize that this is their job to sell. Okay. But it made me feel real pretty. Okay. I went into a store in one of the towns on the excursions. Juneau, we're going to call it out, Juneau. And I was planning that to be my shopping day. Like, I wanted to find all the indigenous stores. I wanted to get some cool things, local things. And me and my friend and one of our listeners / friends like walked in, and the shop owner immediately like locked into me. Like, I was able to shop around a little bit, and then one of my friends pointed out this leather jacket. Well, he was like, do me a favor. Just try it on. Just try it on. I'm like, okay, sure, yeah. Well, not only did I try it on, but he was like, oh my God, like, right? Like, this works for you. And it's an orange leather jacket. It's not for everybody. So I'm going to be.
He was like, oh my God, somebody with dark complexion came in.
But he didn't like, go after my friends or anything. Like, he wasn't weird about it. And then the next thing I know, he's taking photos with me like I'm a celebrity. And then he pulls out this upholstered, gorgeous chair, like a Queen Anne chair, because I was interested in the boots. And so he was just like, well, you must sit in this nice chair to try on the boots. And I tell you, I walked out of there with some very nice items and a really good deal because I kind of talked him down. So, but I left there feeling like a celebrity. Like, I felt so good.
That just, my retailer brain is just like, this is really good. I could use this. We could definitely be using this technique. I like the nice chair that you pull out, make people feel. Yeah. And
it wasn't like schmoozy. Like, I mean, obviously he's a salesman, right? He wanted the sales. He saw an opportunity. Like, I'm not going to discount that. But he made me feel special because I was with my friends. He didn't do that to anybody else.
Oh, he iced out your friends. Perfect.
Well, it wasn't that he iced them out because, like, he went to go take a photo, and then after a few, he was like, why don't you guys join? Like, he was nice, but, like, he definitely made me feel special.
Right.
And as the person who was looking to spend money, I feel like he knew it.
That one.
I contain an aura of shopaholic. But I will say that leather jacket and my embroidered knee-high boots were a theme the rest of the trip, and they definitely started a lot of conversations. So they were good.
That's one of your superpowers.
It really is.
Is like, I'm going to buy something that would be outlandish than anyone else. It's going to look amazing on me, and you're all going to talk about it.
Bold statement piece. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So, and I did get offered a job actually in Skagway by a native gift shop owner. He offered me front of house. He also happens to make custom hats, so I did grab his card.
Oh man, you're gonna model all the hats. I have a friend who moved to Alaska last year.
Oh really?
She's like a glacier guide now. Like, she went as a vet tech because she's a vet tech, and then she just kind of upgraded her life to what she really wants to do, which is tramp around outside in the freezing cold all day. And she's
that's fun for some.
I can't imagine getting through the winter in the dark. But...
Well, a lot of the people up there don't. Like, they're up there from May to October, and then they go home, and then just the natives and the locals stay.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It'd certainly be fun for an experience to say, oh, do you know what? I'm going to summer in Alaska this year and work in a tourist store and drink in local bars and...
They do.
And
100% too. People will bring in help from like the Continental 48. And when we were on the whale watching tour, everybody but the captain and the first mate was there just for the summer, and they have dorm housing for the seasonal workers. And the girl's like, oh, I'm a naturalist, I want to study geothermal energy, and I'm just here for the summer, this is my second summer here. And I'm like, that is genius. If I was to go back again and be in my early 20s or like off of college, 100% I would have done that. Now it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Although now I do have a job in Skagway if I want it.
Yeah, I mean, you can go straight back. You could go tomorrow. You can just be like, everybody, we're going to Skagway because New Jersey, come on, what are we doing here?
And I've been, I don't want to say adopted into, because there's a formal ceremony for that, but I've been encouraged to join the Raven clan for the Tlingit tribe. So.
Oh, that sounds like a good one.
Oh, yeah. So there's like raven, eagle, bear, wolf, and then there's some like our tour guide for the brown bear search was she's Raven Coho is her clan, and that's her mother's name and her name. And they do adopt in outsiders all the time, but she's like, I can't marry Raven. Like that's obviously like that's weird. That's my brother. So she has to do an eagle or a wolf. And so that's how they kind of separate the family lines is by like inner clan. So
the opposite of the like old European practice of just marrying your cousin. Interesting.
Yes, exactly.
That's that ancient wisdom for you, huh?
Yeah, she goes, it was really frowned upon. People died for that. I was like, God. Oh, really? They were just left out to meet the bears. It's so weird.
That's really funny. I'm reading a whole bunch of like the Tudor Queen novels right now, and they're all just marrying each other's cousens.
That's as they did because they wanted to keep the lines pure. But geneticists tell you otherwise.
Thoroughbred breeders be like, yes.
No, but it was really amazing. So anyway, to swing it back around, like I do think like being ourselves, and the feedback I got from some of the listeners is like we're just us. And, we don't put on any airs, and we don't try to be anybody we're not. And I think that that's our superpower.
I think so. I try to explain that to people sometimes. Like, I'm in these, like, new author debut groups, where we talk about getting our books out there and stuff. And people are like, well, I don't want to show my face on video, and I don't want to do this. I'm like, nobody cares. Nobody's looking for a celebrity. Like, they're looking for somebody that they feel like they could talk to, or, they want to know about your book. They're not worried about your makeup. I promise they're not worried about what your eyeshadow looks like. They just want to know about your book and what you like to do. And I almost feel like I'm trouble with like social media right now because I've just run out of anything to say, and I think I need to just take a step back. Yeah. And maybe for the summer, just be really quiet because I'm so checked out of everything right now. It's crazy. I wouldn't say in a bad way. I just can't be involved. I'm just like...
Well, sometimes you need that. I mean, hello, ADHD brain. Like, I get burned out so easy. Sometimes you just need that mental health break. And that's okay. Come back stronger. That's where I've been with the books, But I came back from Alaska. I wrote a couple blog posts. I've been writing.
I saw that,
so, like
immediately.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote them...
inspired.
I wrote them on the boat, if I'm going to be...
Oh, yeah.
My little solarium action. I get all my inspiration in the solarium. So, but yeah, I mean, I think everyone deserves to take a break. And to be fair, your audience, I don't want to call them fans, because I don't, we're talking about being one. But
that's a weird word.
It is a weird word, because it kind of sets you apart. But, like, your audience and the people that, like, read your books, they're going to be there when you come back.
Yeah, and they're going to like what they see. I have the covers for the Briar Hill Farm series.
Ooh.
And they're awesome, and we're going to do a big cover reveal next month in July. But they are so cool. They're my dream book covers.
Ooh.
I am delighted with them. And I will say this is funny. Okay, so the publisher asked me, they're like, when we do the covers for Briar Hill Farm, we want to use photos of horses again, like we did with the Eventing series. And I said, okay, fine. I kind of gave them some parameters, which they kind of missed. I was like, if it looks like Yellowstone, don't send that.
Right.
Like, this is the best way I could think to describe English versus Western writing to them. Was like Yellowstone
opposite
bad.
Of Yellowstone.
Fox hunting kind of look good, like this, would a princess do this, or would a cowgirl do this, And so they sent back these cool little like sets of 3, because it's a 3-book series. to make sure that the images all lined up. And one of the ones, there was one that was like a clear winner to me. I was like, these were the greatest photos. And then I noticed that my editor had said in particular, she's like, I like this one a lot, and I like this one a lot. And I looked at one of the ones that she pointed out, Heather, this horse, it was like a picture taken sort of from low down looking at a horse that was like standing sort of above the camera angle. This horse was peeing. You couldn't see pee coming out because you were looking,
but his penis was down and like
no, it was just his hindquarters were out and splayed, and like you could see that his back was turned up, so that he was definitely either peeing or about to pee.
That's amazing.
And I thought, if I were not here to stop this,
yes,
this wonderful, highly educated person would have put a horse peeing on the cover of this book, and it would have gone to bookstores. And then people would have laughed at it.
And the next like, James Patterson would have been nothing against him personally, but like, why are you writing horse books? Anyway.
We are all on a precipice, Heather. We're all on a precipice of a horse pissing on a cover.
You
so
just
close.
Dodged the rest of the world right there. You saved us.
You have to maintain the right to veto covers. That would be my number one.
I thought you were going to say there was like an AI third eye or something like that. No one noticed.
Oh, no, you didn't even get that close with me.
Oh, well, I know.
I have the most obnoxious AI radar, and I hate it because it has made the world so hideous to me. Maybe another reason why I can't take social media anymore. But yeah, if people always ask, like, what is your advice for an author? And I usually say something like, finish the book, which is great advice, actually. Too. But my second piece of advice would be maintain cover control at all costs if you are writing about something specific. Because, oh my God.
Well, and I will be honest, the cover is it, right? The cover is what makes you pick it up out of a lineup,
yes.
Right? So, like, it has very big intrinsic value.
Yes. If it's sitting on a table in a stack of 4 at the bookstore, and you're just like, that's a big stack of a horse peeing, you're not going to buy that book.
Unless you're a horse person and be like, why the fuck would they do this?
Yeah, but you're still not going to buy it.
No.
Although I don't know, because an awful lot of people who read my books are also like, oh, I read that James Patterson book. And I'm always like, do you just personally hate yourself? Like, why?
No, I think they read it because they thought it was going to be good. And it was.
Why did they think that, Heather?
Because co-authors, and I would assume his co-author would have been an equestrian.
But he's not.
Wait, well, clearly. I mean,
flip the book over. Look at the back.
Well, and just to say, and I don't want to hype you up because my job is to keep you humble, but I'm like more than halfway.
Keeps me humble,
right? Well, I'm more than halfway through the jump, and the level of equestrian detail in it is like by far the most I've ever seen in any other book. Like,
after half of it was edited out.
I believe it, but like it's just so like precise and good, and also like. I could tell that you were so nitpicky with your tack.
I thought you were going to say, I could tell you were so pissed when you wrote this. But
no,
thank you.
No. Well, pissed could be drunk too. So like either or.
No. I usually save that for afterwards. That's
the
like my
celebratory tickle.
Yeah, just like this has been a day. Time for a cocktail. Oh my God.
Yeah, I get that. Well, and I'm coming off of like 3 weeks of travel, and let me tell you, I was losing my voice so much that like I would have maybe one cocktail every like 2 to 3 days because like I literally could not. But one day
the waiters are like, "Here comes herbal tea, girl."
Oh, and I was taking spoonfuls of honey. I had them deliver honey to the room, and I was just taking like a spoonful. Like it was bad. And it got better, and then it got worse because after the one night that I did go drinking and have several drinks and a dance party and game night and all the things, there was an unholy amount of Macarena on this trip, like an unholy amount. I don't know where that came from, but it came out like 4 or 5 times. So Yeah, so I had to like gargle salts and do all the things. It's amazing I'm still like functioning.
You're the definition of vacation from vacation. I could use a cruise, but that's not the kind of cruise I need right now. Like, I need to turn off all the switches.
Yes.
And somebody please just come and bring me drinks. Just bring them to me and I will lie.
Have a favorite server and like just tip them egregiously day one. And then you're gonna be besties for life.
Number one rule.
For 4 days. Yeah, but it was I get that. But yeah, level of detail is important.
Thanks.
And yeah, so I don't know. What do you do while I was on?
I'm making myself crazy with detail in something else.
Okay.
A book that's set in the 1930s, and
historical is a lot of research.
It's a lot of research, and you know what I did was I amassed like a lot of research, a lot of books, a lot of websites, right? So I gathered all this over like past year. So I have all this stuff sort of standing by, like I've read through it, so I had an idea of what I was doing. And then I would write, and I'd put a TK in every time I needed a specific detail that I wasn't going to stop and look up. So I had the general gist of the time period and the setting, and then now and then I need to go back and fill in. I have 5 chapters I want to send to my agent, so I need to go in and fill in those TKs.
What does TK stand for? I saw in your dedication for the jump.
Oh, it means to come, but TC is more common, and you can search for TK, and it almost never comes up unless it's that abbreviation. So you can search your whole document for TKs to make sure you've filled in all of your gaps.
Got it.
Yeah. So 2 days ago, I wanted to fill in one single TK, which was like a street where somebody was catching a streetcar. I spent 3 hours looking at pictures of streetcars and maps and reading maps and looking at city maps and comparing them to train maps and a lot of fan maps posted on Reddit because there don't seem to be a lot of like remnant sort of paper maps from that time period. Where are they? Is what I want to know.
Disintegrated or like went to use in somebody's heat.
Who's not keeping a box full of streetcar maps? Who among us does not have a box full of streetcar
Everybody. Maps? Like literally everyone.
I'm disappointed in the world right now.
Literally everyone.
But I thoroughly enjoyed, 3 hours looking at Charlie's was fantastic.
You and my daughter, she wants to be a historian. So that's
really like
exactly. Yeah. Well, I got to go on the Alaskan Railroad, so that was pretty freaking cool. Got to go through a mountain. I got to see, we saw so much wildlife just literally on the train to the port. Like we saw moose, bald eagles, doll sheep. We saw like so much. But you know what the best wildlife I saw? When I got back and I went to the barn and I whistled for my horses and they came galloping over to me. I was like, they didn't forget me. In fact, they were very excited to see me. So that made me feel like so much better. And now
they needed a little mom break, and now they're happy to see you again.
Now unfortunately, the last 2 years has been a mom break. But yeah, I'm excited to hopefully now that like this last big trip is done, I'm looking forward to like having a more stable schedule and actually, but I'm getting to the stable.
Yes. I rode, like I went to American Horse Publications with you, and then I came back, and while you went to Alaska, I came home, and I rode a couple of times, and then it just started raining.
Good, you've been eating it. We
needed it, so we were like 30 inches in deficit. We ended up with 8.5 inches of rain for the month of May, and that all fell in about 10 days.
Oh my God.
So one day I went out and I started to saddle up and it started to rain and I rode. And then the next day I went out and I got as far as Boots on Ben and it started thundering. So I went inside and then a couple of days passed and then I went out and I was picking hooves and I picked up his hind hoof and he had split his quarter all the way up to the cornet band.
Oh my God.
And it had some blood on it. There were gnats flying around because of the blood. I looked at the inside. His whole the whole heel area of his outside quarter was wobbling. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, no.
It was like,
do you think it went because it went from so dry to so wet so fast?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, okay, 8 inches of rain after 6 months of drought. I get a broken hoof. Fair.
It's a wonder that any horses survived in the wild.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
what?
I know. He had good hard hooves. I mean, his hooves were so hard that my farrier asked me to soak them a little bit the day before she came out because she couldn't cut into his frogs. So this was on Thursday, and I wrapped up his hoof, put it in a boot. I cleaned it out because it had gone, into the quick. So I clean his hoof, wrap it up, put some gauze on it to kind of hold it steady and still, vet wrap it so the whole thing is secure, put it in a hoof boot. Great, he's fine, he's turned out, he's happy. Farrier's supposed to come on a Saturday to take a look at it. Never came.
Really?
Never came.
Just didn't
Hasn't
show?
Responded to a single text I've sent.
Oh my God.
I have been either fully ghosted or she died.
Or some kind of severe injury.
I don't know what has happened, but I've received no communication since Thursday, and today's Tuesday.
How long have you had this farrier?
Several years.
Something must have
we're
happened.
Friends.
Something must have happened.
Really strange. Yeah.
Unless could they be traveling and just didn't tell you?
I don't know. I mean, I called her once when she was on her way to Japan, and she answered the phone.
Okay.
Talked to me, but it was a huge emergency.
I'm going to assume catastrophic injury, illness, or family death, because that is weird. You're not really in a serious monogamous relationship. Well, monogamous on your end. Relationship. And for years, and then suddenly somebody just stops responding. That's odd. Yeah.
So it's what do you do? How long do you let that go? And what if she just shows up on a regular appointment in 3 weeks? And I'm just hey, missed you while you were gone.
I mean, I will say, I have the opposite problem with my farrier. I'm super anxious avoidant. He calls me, I'm oh no. I'm not ready for that conversation. You know what I mean? Because if he calls me, I know it's bad. And Delight's hoof, because I was gone for a couple weeks, the one that he had sloughed off, isn't doing so great. It's a little soft, and I don't love that. But he also won't lift it for me when I went to go do it. So I had to literally manhandle my 1,500-pound horse into lifting his leg, and I was just this is going to be really bad if I don't get this addressed. So I got to go back a little bit every day and just which I don't have time for. But you don't just disappear on somebody. So you're going to, if it's an emergency, you're going to have to get somebody to come in and help you. But at the same time, it's you don't want to, I get it.
It's awkward. And because I only do trims, I'm sort of limited in who will come out to me anyway.
Right.
But I can't have somebody come out one time to look at one weird thing and then never call them again. That would be sort of a weird social breach.
Not if you tell them, listen, and I'm a service provider. So if you say hey, my regular farrier is, don't say anything bad about them, but just say unavailable, and I really need this urgently done. I don't want to risk doing it myself. Would you mind coming out for a one-off? I'll totally, I really appreciate it. I'll keep you in mind for the future. That's fine. I've gone in to clients where they have a regular massage therapist. That regular massage therapist is away, or they need something, their horse ties up or whatever. I go in under the knowledge this is not going to be a regular client, and let me just help them out. It doesn't have to be personal.
It's cool. I could see doing that. I did, because the other funny thing about this, I guess it's funny, is was it the next day? Well, basically, the thing is, if somebody were to say, oh, can you just bring them over to the clinic and I can take a look at it really quick because I am really close to the vet clinic and she services the vet clinic, is a tree fell on my horse trailer.
Your horse trailer?
Yeah.
Your brand new horse trailer?
Uh-huh, yeah.
That you've waited years for?
Mm-hmm, yeah, tree fell on it. Yeah.
Follow-up question. Do you have U.S. Rider insurance?
No. I haven't even used it.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's like totaled, but it needs some work.
You need like Thor with his hammer to like.
Well, the top of it's
undent it?
fiberglass.
Okay.
So like the top of it needs sort of some help.
And you need a
because
little
it has
chainsaw to
broken.
cut up the tree.
Oh, the tree's already cut up. Corey's real good at cutting up trees. That's something you learn. Really
I don't want to
quick
know
out
about foreplay. Okay, stop. But also, yeah, you live in a heavily treed area, so like he's got to be good. I don't want to blow my own horn, but I got myself a mini chainsaw.
Chainsaws are fun.
After the winter, when like all of my little, arborvitaes, like they were losing the leaders, like were starting to come from the snow, so I had to chop them off so they wouldn't take the whole tree down. I felt like a queen. Like I'll be honest, like I felt like a badass with that chainsaw.
Chainsaws, yeah, we got one, or I guess we had one, like the first hurricane went through and it was like, oh, so this is what it's like when 6 trees fall on your property. And we learned really quickly like how to chop up a tree properly. I figured out using, I think, skills that I got from Little House on the Prairie. I figured out how to take down a tree branch that we couldn't actually reach by like using a rope to get it down. Very exciting stuff. So definitely like amateur timber artists over here. Super excited. And so looking forward to moving to our new property, which has like 0 trees on it. Because this is a huge pain in the ass living here.
It's already cleared for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's already clear. It has cows on it. And this place looks beautiful right now. Like, it is so green because we just had 8 inches of rain. However, you remember the property across the road from me that was just completely covered with trash?
Yes.
Okay, so some idiot bought it, and they hired somebody to clear the trash, but what they actually did was just scoop up literally all of the underbrush as well. So they cleared all of the underbrush. They left all of the like half-dead trees, cleared all of the underbrush, and then it's just sitting. So here's some advice if you're ever going to clear land. If you clear land in late spring, probably anywhere, but especially in Florida, you better do that intentionally and with a big plan for what you're going to do within 3 days, because that is now just it's being taken over by vines and poison ivy. All kinds of before it was just leaves and branches and some palmettos, and now it's bare dirt with nothing to do. You cannot leave dirt alone. You have to give dirt a job, or you have to put it to sleep. You cannot leave it alone. It will do its own thing, and you don't want that to happen. It's about to be so bad. Meanwhile, I'm a freaking deer nursery because the does can't hide their babies over there anymore.
So they're coming over to you.
They're coming over to me. They're breaking into my bird feeder. They're nursing in the backyard. I got does and fawns all over the place. I've raccoons in the middle of the night. My armadillos are clanking together, which is hilarious. I don't know if you've ever heard armadillos play, but they go thunk, thunk. Like, it has turned into Wild Kingdom here because that lot got cleared. And
right.
Let's move to Natalie's.
They probably, how many animals did they kill just bringing all that up and then, like, and then they just left it.
Mm-hmm. Clearing land in spring is nefarious anyway.
It is. And clearly they weren't in a rush because they're not doing anything with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I wonder if like permits or something was holding them up or whatnot, but that's obnoxious.
Yeah, you got to have a plan. They destroyed our road, and Calvin couldn't get out because Calvin graduated and he's staying here for the summer. And he has a little car, and they destroyed our road to the point where he couldn't get the car out. But then it started raining again, and it flattened out the road.
Flattened to the sand, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the chaos that has occurred here in the month of May.
Oh, you're not going to like your neighbors.
No, not at all.
I can already tell.
Well, and while all this was going on, there's power lines over there, and now they're going to like redo those power lines. So there's tree crews around 24/7. Like, I can't even.
Don't even try to ride. You're going to die.
I know. Well, he was out watching them. The other day, Ben was up front, and like a guy from a survey company drove up the road, and then I'm watching. Ben goes up to the fence, and the guy walks over, and he's petting him. And Ben's like, "I love you so much." He loves it. He did, the last time I rode him, he did like a power spook at nothing. It was hilarious. So I'm not going to die anymore. I'm much better. I have a much better seat now, and I'm much stronger because I'd like go to the gym. But
yeah, but I don't know.
This has been Chaos Nation over here.
I want my horses to be afraid of strangers now, because did you hear that whole thing with the NBHA?
Yeah, and apparently this girl had been harassing one of my friend's daughters online for like 2 years.
Oh, really? So she did it to her too?
Weird.
Well,
she's in Florida.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, and I mean, obviously I work with a lot of barrel horses. I work, and we have a huge, people don't realize this, but we have a big rodeo in New Jersey. It was like it's the oldest rodeo in the United States. And it goes from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So we're in full swing, and I've got people competing there. I also have people competing at NBHA in the finals, semifinals, all of those. Yeah. So like, I know people at those events, and I am freaked the hell out. And the weirdest part is that this girl has been stalking all of these people and then meeting them. Like, so she waited and met them, and then when the girl finished her night check, she went to leave, and the girl then took the opportunity. But she got progressively worse with each horse, and trying to figure out how many, like, and where it would take to stab these horses and kill them. Like, that's insane.
No, that's genuinely clinically insane.
No, like, this woman needs to be, like, we need to make an example out of her. Like, how did she pass? How did she even, like, weren't there red flags? Like, she's clearly a psychopath. Like, weren't there red flags with her own animals?
I mean, that's a good question. It also, like, what are the red flags with a person who goes on a murder spree? Like, do you know beforehand? People always say that they're very nice, and then they, like, murder a whole bunch of women. I feel like there's got to be signs. Like, there's got to be signs. There's got to be somebody who's noticed something was off. I mean, even the people that she was following, the people that she did attack, or their horses, they were like, oh yeah, this girl's been like a cyber stalker for years. Like, they knew something was wrong, but yet somehow this girl's still, because she didn't do anything overt. It's common, right? It's common to be a psycho mean girl on the internet. It's normal, actually.
There's so much.
Took it one step further. She took it in real life.
So much wrong with our society.
Yeah. Like, you could argue, like, this is just what has happened to so many people happening in the horse world for the first time. And it's kind of amazing that it's the first time when you consider how much mental illness there is in the horse community.
I'll be honest, it's I don't think it is the first time. I think it's just the first time it's so mainstream, because
like a big event.
Well, I have a client I'm seeing today, actually, and she is going through I might have mentioned the horse before. She's going through a case now where she's suing the previous trainer because he tried to kill her horse.
Oh yeah.
And this is like
that's been going on for decades.
Very high level trainer with a great reputation. And we were even talking on the cruise. There's a Netflix movie out based on the guy who shot his working student, and that happened at one of the barns I work at. Like it happens. It's just that now this is kind of being talked about in the mainstream more, because guess what? Equestrian is going mainstream. Yeah. So I think we're just hearing about it more, not just in our small little communities.
Yeah, I think you could be onto something there where it's worth. I don't know who's talking about it besides like. I've only seen it on social media because I don't really take in any news at all, thank God. It took me a few days to figure out what people were talking about with this. But yeah, horses going mainstream has a lot of consequences that I think the craziest among us probably have not and will not examine, but their behavior is going to be outed
under the microscope
lot more often. Yeah. And it's going to give the horse world a reputation that it probably doesn't want or need.
Yeah. And we're already I'm part of the equine media. And so, already there's things with like the carriage driving in New York and racehorses at Santa Anita. And like, we have these tidbits, but they're all negative. And that's not the story we want to tell. We don't want to tell these, because these are outliers.
Yeah. It's like, the things that are heavily regulated, that's the ironic thing too. It's the things that are heavily regulated that people see, and it's everything, all the horse shows and stuff that aren't regulated by like federal or state guidelines. where there's just constant nonsense going on all the time and nobody ever knows about it. It was like the Pelham Bay, not Pelham Bay, Pelham Bay's what is the Jamaica Bay Riding Academy closing.
Yes.
And this listing of horses, you know, from their descriptions, all of these horses probably should have been humanely euthanized a long time ago.
Most of them are older than they're saying as well.
I've seen that too.
Yeah.
This has been going on all this time at this riding academy. People are up in arms about carriage horses who are watched daily by authorities, by the ASPCA, who are sent on annual vacations upstate, you know, who have more PTO, essentially, than American workers. Meanwhile, a few miles away, these horses are working lame and into their elderly years, and now they're just being dumped. You know, like...
We need to do better. We need to do better. Like, if we're going to be horse people, we need to put the horse first. And I am, like, this is just the whole situation for all of these just makes me so... I wouldn't even say sick. I'm just so sad for these animals that give us so much.
Well, and people need to be educated. And I can't say people need to educate themselves because that's a big ask in something that is unregulated. There need to be more guidelines for people entering the horse world to say, this is acceptable, this is abuse. And to be really clear about that.
Trainer, too. And I think, you know, trainers... There's a lot of trainers that are unregulated. You know, they just they learn from experience, not education, and they don't always have the horse first mentality. And so anybody they teach is not going to have the horse first mentality unless they're just naturally empathetic.
Right. Yeah. You may have read my book, The Jump, which is about this.
Currently reading.
Well, that's the thing is they're all unregulated. There is no regulation. And every single trainer at the end of the day is trying to make a living. And that is going to affect different personalities in different ways. And some people, unfortunately, a lot of people, it's going to affect in a really negative way when it comes to horse care or use or vacation time, or, you know, all of these things. We used to have British Horse Society regulations at the equestrian center I worked at in Orlando. So it was mandated by British Horse Society's sort of bylaws how many hours per day a horse could work, that kind of thing. And when you spelled it out to people, they could be surprised. They're like, a horse could work that much? And it's like, no, a horse can work that little. Welcome to the United States.
Right,
and lesson barns.
Right.
You know, I don't remember what it was anymore. But, you know, we've all been in lesson barns where horses work 4 or 5 hours a day. And don't even take into account Saturday and Sunday at the show.
I mean, that's part of what
by the arena.
broke Delight. That's part of why he came back to me, because he was going from maybe 3 days a week of like a 45-minute lesson to 5 to 6 days a week, an hour and a half. And it fried his body and his brain. And now I'm not saying a horse can't do that, but they got to be legged up. They have to, you know, they have to want it. And I will say, I know people at the top levels, guess what? Their horses get days off and they also spend days hacking. They don't just work the shit out of them.
Exactly. Upper level, like dressage horses are working 3 days a week, hacking 2 days a week, and not doing anything the other 2. Or they're going to a show. You know, meanwhile, school horses are being ridden incorrectly. They're they're holding up everything on their end. Like the rider's doing nothing for them. The rider's in their way. And they're just doing laps. They're doing circuits. So yeah, it's breaking their body and their brain.
Yeah, absolutely. And it hurts me. You know, I never want to judge because, like, obviously if I come in and I'm working on a horse and they tell me they work 5 to 6 days a week, my first reaction is like, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep that shit to myself because it's my opinion. You know what I mean? Unless the horse is not doing well, at least they're bringing me in and, you know, trying to counterbalance some of that. But like if they ask me 3 days, 3 days is all your horse needs to be fit as a fiddle. And I mean, then you can look at my horse who hasn't been ridden in 3 years and he is he could go out and do 50 miles on endurance. Not that I would want him to, but like he is fit.
He would just keep going. He's made of iron. Yeah.
He's made of iron because I let him kind of regulate his own exercise. You know what I mean? And he's happy.
I mean, things like that matter. Are they standing inside or are they roaming, at free will all day long, like Ben kind of thing? Or like your horse, like they're out, they're moving, they're keeping their body going.
Yes.
If your horse is being used for lessons, are you getting on and giving them the muscle that they need regularly? Like, they should be getting, if they're getting 3 lessons a week, they should probably be getting 2 masterclass rides a week too, where you're pulling their body back together and saying, here's where your muscles are, bud.
Yeah.
So that when they flatten out in those lessons, it doesn't wreck them. Mm-hmm.
I had a horse yesterday that is lovely family. Such a lovely family, lovely horses. They just got a new horse who had been sitting out for who knows how long, kind of like semi-retired, totally sway-backed, right? But by the time I was done with him, he'd stopped parking out and his back actually lifted and opened. And I was like, oh, he just forgot how to use his core because he hasn't needed to. Yes. And I'm like, okay, here are exercises I want you guys to do on the ground before getting in the saddle, right? Like these are things that we can actively work on and he'll bounce right back. But some people will just look at him and say, well, he's older, so he just has a swag. What? Like, what?
And that makes me think about how, like, I don't ride that often, but when I do ride, I'm really effective now because I work out my core, right? My upper body is really strong. My back is super strong. Like, I specifically, do weight training in those areas so that I'm effective when I ride. And the vast majority of people never think about lifting weights or strengthening their core to ride. And a lot of people think you can ride yourself fit. If you're getting on 10 horses a day, you can ride yourself fit. But if you're riding 1 horse a day, even 2 horses a day, it's not going to happen for you. I'm so sorry. The gym is waiting.
Well, and you shouldn't use your horse as your exercise machine. So I will say one thing I am proud of. I mean, I know I don't ride that much. I got on Ferris in December. I'm out of shape. He's been working out in the paddock with his brother. I got on him and I spent the first maybe year or 2 that I had him helping him and me work on proper walking, core strength, posture, all of it. So that way he went from being a hunter champion who couldn't hold a frame, right? To now a horse that can walk, trot, and canter in a frame on the buckle. And I will die by that. Like, I know what I'm talking about because I can't be a pretty rider. I have a neurological horse. I need to be effective in order to make him strong so he could survive the neurological condition he has.
Sure.
Right?
And every single thing you do at trot and canter, you can do at walk effectively.
Well, that's it. If I'm not strong enough to trot or canter and not and lose my posture, then I go back to the walk because I need to make sure that I'm consistent for him and I can balance him because I don't want him to have to balance me. And that's kind of the difference of where I am now as, back in riding for 20 years is now my focus is like, how can I make him better? I'm not worried about me looking better.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
It shifted.
So I was watching some equitation the other day, and I thought, I think I could do equitation, like over fences. I think I could do it. I liked it when I was a kid.
I couldn't just because I'm not like a pretty rider, but I can make my horse look fucking great. So I guess in that way, I'm a true hunter.
Yeah, you ride the hunters, I'll ride the eck.
Yeah, I will say every time I ride Ferris, people are like say to the trainer, "Wow, that horse is so cute mover. Wow, that horse is flashy." And she turns to him and she goes, "Yeah, but he's not easy." And then they look at me and my face is beet red and I'm like, "Just lift a little bit, buddy." And I'm
how many great movers are easy, right? Like Brilliance under saddle, that's your work. Because they would just flatten out. They'd be like, "Oh, I gotta carry this."
I will say,
I can run around the pasture and be pretty.
Yeah, he's a natural talent when he's competing because he's very competitive and he likes to look really handsome next to the other horses. But left to his own devices, he and I are both lazy fuckers. And so, if I'm making him look good, it means I'm working really fucking hard. Even if it's at the walk, people really don't appreciate the walk as much as they should, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But so we're winding down, and I know it took us a while to get started talking about the horses, but I think I'm going to set a little bit of a goal, because now that it's nicer weather, we're getting into the point where my season evens out a little bit and for work, and the weather is warmer, so my pony isn't so aggressive. So I will be getting my shit back in shape this summer. That is my goal.
Okay.
Even just go once a week, even 20 minutes, just working on me in the saddle and getting back into a little bit of a routine. I'm setting that goal. Instead of an adulting win, I'm manifesting a new kind of season for me.
I love it. I love a 20-minute walk. I think that has sustained me more than anything else over the past few years. Has just been like, let me just get it together and get on and go for a walk. And I think we both enjoy it. And then, sometimes you want to pick up a little bit and do some circles. And honestly, I can tell you my horse moves so much better, even after just like a winter of doing a lot of, let me just grab a hack. And, well, let's bend around these trees a little bit. And, let's do a few halts and things like that. And I can feel the difference now when I do trot and canter work. So
yeah,
you can't go wrong. My summer is in question, as I don't know what's going on with his hoof. However, that's okay, because what I really want to play with is liberty work. And I have, I have Ride IQ. And Ride IQ now also has like Kathy Barr and some other natural horsemanship professionals doing lessons on there. We've started doing the 7 games. I think there's 7.
For the Pirelli.
Pirelli. I will say we are very hung up on the part where you swing the rope and the horse backs away from you. Ben's expression is more like, you want me to come to you, right? And I'm like, I'm shaking this and feeling that you should back away. And he says, come to you, right? Come to mom. So that part is challenging. Maybe my energy is not pushing my horse away because it naturally wants to pull him to me. He's my little baby.
Well, what about, I'm just going to spitball it out. Is he flag trained at all?
No, I have no idea what that even means.
Okay. So I would take, or a dressage whip or anything like that.
Yeah, you have a dressage whip.
So I would say Delight doesn't do the wiggle thing. Okay. He had to be taught to do, so it's like a different move. And so you just have to find what works. So try different movements and see what kind of brings his head down and back. So you know what I mean? I'm
going to watch some videos and see what people are doing.
Don't focus on the wiggle is my point.
The wiggle is
your
ineffective. Own. I did buy the halter with the little knots. The last one that they had in stock at Tractor Supply, it was turquoise. It's not my favorite color on Ben, but it was something that I just felt like I really want to do this right now. And it was like $17.
Got a little manic about it.
I did. It's like if you want to do something, you want to do it. I don't want to do it in 2 months. I'm interested now. I might not still care in 2 months if I don't do it right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Understood. I was at the garden center at 7 a.m., so I understand.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's kind of maybe this summer I can do a segment like Liberty with Natalie where we talk about how I messed up Liberty this week, and it'll be really fun.
I think that'd be fun. And listen, it's all just supposed to be fun. So you're all figuring it out, but guess what? They don't come out of the womb learning Liberty, and neither do you. So you just make it your own. Don't stick with what everybody's taught, right? Use that and then kind of go with it based on your relationship with your horse. That's the best advice I can give you, because we did a lot of that formal training with Delight, and it really saved him and me, I think. And now, but I made it my own with Ferris, because Ferris learns a little differently than Delight. And now when I went in the field, which they get very excited when I go in the field because they know we're going to play. So when I went in to get them and they came galloping over, what we didn't see in the video I posted to Instagram was me holding up my hand and saying, whoa, too much, and then raining stop together in tandem.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. Because did they learn that? No. But it was, my energy was and no, you're done. And so I could have sent any words, right? I probably should have said you're done. But I could have sent any words. I could have said, whoa, I could have said all the things. But I said too much, and they stopped. And so I've never been taught that, but we just work so well together now at this point that they can read my energy better.
Yeah,
so
you could have said, peanut butter to them and they would have been like same energy. Yeah.
Exactly. So don't focus on the little movements. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And again, not a professional, but I have been doing this on and off for several years, somewhat successfully when I do it. You know, but I will say, like, I have so much fun with it. And so if he's not backing, then you can actually walk towards him while doing it and move into his energy, get him to back up, see if that helps, and then phase that out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? So, like, bring in your mare energy.
Yeah, I do find it hard to focus. So that's probably part of like the energy misread too, is like, where is my brain? Well, it's a lot of places.
Yeah, and if you're miscommunicating, he's misunderstanding. And that's just like the fundamentals of Liberty work is clear communication and understanding what the body language means. And so my horses are very voice command, so they know tone very, very well. Probably more because I talk with my hands, as I'm currently doing, and so they learn to phase that out. So they focus more on my voice than anything else. Like if I'm free lunging, I could say and switch, and then they at the same gait can turn around and change direction, right? But I don't necessarily. The hand signal is an extra, but they don't really need that anymore. So, but we have to start somewhere.
No, that makes sense. I had a thoroughbred who was like that. You know, and that's probably the easiest horse for me to read. And Ben and I have always been a little bit like, are we talking the same language? Like your quarter horse brain and my thoroughbred brain are a little like at a loss. I think I'm used to a more attention deficit horse.
And a little sensitive, right? Like they're sensitive to energies, and quarter horses are not, you know,
no,
they can be, I will say.
It's so cute when he stares at me and he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you're so cute. Let me just kiss you.
I think we found your problem.
He's just so cute.
Well, he probably also thinks you have the treats. So, like, if you have the treats when you're doing that, he's going to want to come closer.
Right.
Right? So, you might want to consider not bringing the treats to those.
Yeah, I don't bring the treats for those sessions.
Okay.
Yeah, like, those are different kind of sessions. Okay. So, I bring the treats when I go out and do like, some movement before I ride kind of thing, because I'm going to take them while I ride. Because he works really well when he knows that there's treats involved. And me too, bud. I'm a fan
of bribery. I treated myself to an ice cream the other day, you know?
It is really funny, though. Sometimes you have to wear him down, like, when he's decided on a course of badness, and you have to be like, I can't convince him to stop without just pushing him through it. Like, he started moving away from the mounting block. And I was like, oh, so we'll use some of these great techniques to make you stand by the mounting block. And he's like, no. And I was like, oh, what if I just mount you from wherever? And he was like, oh, and now he doesn't move away from the mounting block anymore. Like, the cute little tap, tap, tap technique didn't deter him, but me just pushing through and saying, look, asshole, I'm getting on you now. Did.
Oh, yeah. I had and we could get lost in this. I had a lesson horse the other day I've known for years, and he has a newish rider to him that she was getting on, and the trainer hadn't been there yet. She wasn't in the arena yet, and he kept backing off the mounting block, and that's like something he does. And I was like, do you mind if I just help you? Because I could tell she was getting frustrated. So I came in and I said, you know, here's a couple of tips of like things that have worked for him in the past. And my just literally standing there made him stand still, because he knew there would be, and I'm not a mean taskmaster, but he knew that I knew I wasn't going to take his bullshit.
Right. It doesn't even have to be like, there's no like, stand still. There was
no come like, to Jesus. I was like, you're standing
it was
there.
Literally just, oh, are you still moving? Well, then I'm following you. Oh, are you done moving? Oh, I'm on your back now. He's like, damn, none of this works.
Right. And Ferris every once in a while will get to that, and he will, you know, he'll do that thing where he like wants to walk off. Like in March or something when I rode him, he was like trotting off from the mounting block. And I was like, oh, no. So guess what? I didn't just walk him back. I got off of him. I walked him back. I lined him up. I took my sweet ass freaking time. And I was like, and then I got on him and I said, now we're going to stand here. And then now you're going to bend your neck both sides. Now I'm going to take a deep breath. Ooh, let me turn on my music. I'm like, now we're making this a chore for you, because he's a pony and he's going to try me periodically. So I just have to annoy him a little bit. And then he's just like, it was easier if I just waited. I'm like, yes. So I don't have to beat the shit out of him. You know what I mean? I just have to annoy him just a little bit.
Yeah, you got to know your audience.
That's right. And Farrier is easy that way. Delight is very opinionated, and you can't. Delight's like, oh, try me again, I'll escalate. Same with Odin.
Yeah.
My daughter writes Odin, he escalates. Yeah.
Yeah, the relationship can change over the years. Because I remember back when I first started riding Ben, if you asked him to stand still, he would just rear repeatedly. Yeah. I want you to imagine my pony just rearing. And I would
seems like too much effort for him.
Like, what are we? I know, it was so funny because I was riding with other people at the time, and we'd be having a conversation. And he's just rearing. And I'm just, just a few inches off the ground. And they're like, what is he doing? And I was like, I don't know. I'm ignoring him. He'll stop eventually. So what are you going to do? You make a fight?
Well, and if you fight, like, you could end up vertical or underneath him. Dead. You know? And so, Farrier used to do that. Like, the thing where if you would stop, he would bob his head and try to take the reins back. Right? So when I first got him, he had been a lesson horse and like a show pony. And I was like, oh, that's the first thing we're working on because no. And so periodically, still to this day, I will stop in the middle of a ride and just make him stand wait. And we don't move until he relaxes. Mm-hmm. And then when he looks at me, I'm like, okay, you're a good boy. And then now we can keep going, and I never let him jump until he did that really nicely. And so, again, know your horse and make it your own because it's not, you can write a book about it, but one horse is not like the other.
Yeah, I should do that.
Thank you for being a little weird with us, horse girls. If you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your player of choice. Follow us on Instagram at Adulting with Horses Podcast, or even better, join our Adulting with Horses Clubhouse on Facebook, where you can become part of the show. Also, it's a great place to meet other horse crazy women. Thanks, and see you next time.